Hey there guys, T-Mac here. I'm getting gray in my beard. What the heck? Just want to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on here. I shot this doe last night, of course, and as you can see right here, that's not the shot I wanted, okay? It's too far back. I was aiming here, got a lot of difference there. When I released that arrow, I lost sight of it. I was like, man, I mean, that usually doesn't happen. I didn't even know I'd hit the deer until it turned and ran, and I seen the arrow sticking out about that much. Well, I got the other half of the arrow around here somewhere, you know, that's always worrisome when you just didn't get the shot you wanted. You lose sight of it. But you know, it's that time you gotta sit down, take your time, think about it, calm down, figure out what's going on. Now, there was a time that a shot like this, man, I'd have been worried sick. Which I was anyway. But when I got down there and found the blood, I knew I was going to find that deer. For one, after I shot, I stopped, marked my spot where I last seen her, and listened. And after just a few seconds, I heard a crash, things went quiet. That's what you're looking for. Now, the reason I recovered this deer is I'm not going to brag about this shot. The reason I recovered this deer is because I was using razor sharp broadheads, okay? That was the key. A good broadhead is not for the perfect shot. A good broadhead is for that shot that's not perfect. It's obvious to me. I clipped that main artery right below the spine. Now, that brings me to blood trails. Razor sharp broadheads equal good blood trails. As you can see here, as I was trailing this deer, there was blood as soon as I hit the deer. I didn't even find hair, just blood. And I knew me having, usually a shot this high would require the blood to run down the side of the deer and drip on the ground, but it wasn't dripping. As you can see from these images, these are graphic, the blood was up high and everywhere. I could tell immediately from the blood trail that I hit the main artery up there, and that I was going to find this deer within 50 to 60 yards. But you know, usually they only go about 50 yards when you hit that, but this one went a little bit further. I'm going to say about 60 yards. And I tell you what, put a heck of a good hole in her. That's why I like Red Feather Archery's Razor Hawk 2-blade broadhead. That thing cuts, and it is razor sharp, and when main arteries are cut, you're going to get your deer. Not the shot I wanted, but I got my deer. I think the reason I lost sight of my arrow was the deflection. I think I had something deflected my arrow just a little bit. But either way, God bless me, I got the deer. And know your blood trail. The first thing I want to do after I sit back, calm down, I go down and I find my blood trail. Blood trails tell you what's going on. If this would have been a leg shot, there wouldn't have been that much blood. Okay, it wouldn't have been just spraying like it was. It was up high, and you could tell that it wasn't smeared on where she rubbed through. It was spraying. So, your blood trail will tell you everything you need to know. First thing you do, you get down, you find your arrow, or you find the blood. I couldn't find my arrow, it was still in her. But you find that blood trail, and that's going to tell you what your next step is. If I would have got down there and I'd have found gut material, I'd have waited. I'd have backed out and waited. Because you shoot one in the gut, they're usually not going to go a tremendous distance at first. Sometimes 100, maybe more. You know, everything's different. Every shot's different. Every blood trail's different. But if I'd have found gut matter, I'd have backed out. Let her sit till the next day. But then I didn't find, it wasn't lung blood. There was no lungs harmed in this. It wasn't that pink frothy blood. This was just deep red artery blood shooting everywhere. I could tell by just the spray. If it was that kind of blood and it was just dripping along the ground, even then I might have backed out. Waited till the next day. Give them time. But I knew from watching and listening that even though I didn't quite see the arrow impact, I seen the arrow in the deer when she ran off. You got to put all that stuff together to recover your deer. The best thing I can tell you about blood trails, go on. I mean, my dad took me on many blood trails growing up. I can trail a deer now. I'm not going to sit up here and say I'm the best, but I can trail a deer. A lot of people come to me when they have deer hit and they need help, because I've been on blood trails since I was this big. Take your kids. If it wouldn't have been getting dark, I probably would have come and got one of my kids, or a couple of them, took them down there if they wanted to go. You learn by going on. Your buddy calls and said, "Hey man, I shot a deer. I don't know what to do." Go with them, help them out. You'll be amazed at what you can learn just by trailing even someone else's deer. But that's how you get good at blood trailing. Is blood. Go on blood trails. Help your friends find their deer. Examine every bit of the evidence, and use a razor sharp broadhead. And you're gonna find that deer, even on a shot that's not so good. Good razor sharp broadheads are not for good shots, but they're for the shots that aren't where they're supposed to be. But that broadhead does its job. Stan Mercer, buddy, thank you, because there was a time that another broadhead might not have done as good. And I could have lost that deer. So. Anyway, I got some skinning to do. Just wanted to share that with y'all. This year's starting out good. Red Feather Archery, home of the Talon. Visit them at www.redfeatherarchery.com for all your broadhead needs.